As we know, the writer of the Concise Townscape is Gordon Cullen. And what his full name? His full name is Thomas Gordon Cullen. So, I want to talk about the background and the education for Gordon Cullen. So, he studies architecture at the Royal Polytechnic Institution, London, now the University of the Westminster. Although he studies architecture, he did not complete formal professional qualification as an architect, and he developed his mainly skills toward architectural drawing, illustrations, and urban design practice. For his famous work is a Townscape. The first one is Townscape. The most famous work introduced a key idea like zero visions, place, and content in urban design. And the Concise Townscape, as I'm studying right now, is a simplified and a widely used version of his original books. And the Townscape articles in the Architectural Review, a series of influential writing and illustrations that shapes modern urban design thinking. Numerous urban structure and visual studies used to explain how people experience cities, visually and emotionally. As we know, Thomas Gordon Cullen was a British architecture, illustrator, and urban designer, best known for developing the concept for Townscape. He was born on 9 August 1914 in Yorkshire, England, and became one of the most influential figures in the post-war urban design. If you're wondering what the Townscape is, so first I want to talk about the introduction of Townscape. Exploring the city toward vision and movement, the way people see, move toward and fill with urban space. So the first one is the city is seen as sequences of visual experience and not a static image. So the first one is a city is not just a physical arrangement, but a living visual experience. First one is every element such as street, buildings, square, and landscape combine to create a scene or urban view. So the second one is the experience change when a person walk, drive, move from one space to another space. That was most people view what about the Townscape is. Move forward, we go to the Cullen vision. So the city as a work of visual art, not only the technical plan or functional system. So the first one of the Cullen vision is traditional urban planning focused on function, traffic, and land use zoning efficiency. And Cullen Gordon agreed that cities should always be visually attractive, able to create emotions and experience. So, Cullen's main emphasis is one is a perspective, second is spatial composition, third is the visual surprise or drama. So the first one is perspective. First point is the narrow street, intimate feeling, and the second one is wide street, open and grand feeling. So the second one for the spatial composition is how building and space are arranged to shape movement flow and create visual balance. And the second one is space can be enclosed or open, visual surprise and or drama. Like Cullen like the idea of the reveal, like view should not be shown all at once, they should appear gradually. For the example is narrow alley suddenly open into a wide square, and the last this makes the city feel like more interesting and lively. We move to the zero vision. Zero vision is describe how urban space is experienced in emotions. So the first point that I got in this book is that a city is not a perceived all at once, but frame by frame, like a film sequence, and every step or movement create a new visual experience and reveal. Good urban design creates surprise, variation, and visual rhythm. In the Cullen books, they have an example like we know from the image from the outside building to the inside. So this is I have put my example sequential study from my hotel view to the Pasaraya.
Here's the benefits of stereo vision. Firstly, enhanced user experience creates a more engaging and memorable journey. People experience the city as a sequence, not a static view. Second, adds visual interest and variety. Avoid boring, monotonous streets. Introduce contrast, surprise, and changing view. Third, improve wayfinding. Landmark and focal points help people navigate easily. Clear visual clues guide people through the space. Fourth, create drama and identity. Builds a sense of arrival and climax. Strengthen the character and identity of a place. Fifth, encourage movement. Makes walking more enjoyable. People are more likely to explore the space. Lastly, supports better urban design. Help designer plan sequence of space ensures a balance between enclosure and openness.
And today, I will be presenting about place analysis that applies Gordon Cullen's concept of townscape to our site in Ipoh New Town. For the first one, netting. The mural art lane entrance and 5-foot way column along Jalan Raja Ikram frame the street scene beyond, pulling the view forward and bringing distant element into the immediate environment. Change of level. The Kinta River bank creates the site's only significant level change. The drop from road to river produces intimacy below and a commanding sense of exposure above. For pinpointing, TKK Clock Tower and Masjid Panglima Kintas draw the eye to specific points in the skyline, anchoring visual attention from surrounding streets. For enclosure and defining space, shop houses lining Jalan Raja Ikram, Jalan Yaotek Shin, and mural art lane create contained street corridors with consistent building height close to the road edge. For silhouette, the jagged limestone ridge behind the new town Ipoh frames the entire townscape against the sky, while the consistent shop house line along Jalan Raja Ikram creates a horizontal foreground silhouette beneath it. And for truncation, foreground elements such as parked cars and shop house awning that cuts across the base of Ipoh French Hotel and Bangunan Sri Kinta, bringing near and far into sudden dramatic juxtaposition. For grandiose vista, Jalan Sultan Idris Shah opened up long straight views towards the limestone hills in the distance, connecting the immediate site to the wider Ipoh landscape beyond. Close vista, Masjid Panglima Kinta brings Jalan Masjid to a definitive visual end, while Bangunan Sri Kinta anchors and closes the northern edge of the commercial corridor along Jalan Raja Ikram. For deflection, the bend along Jalan Theatre through Kampung Jawa and the angled junction at Jalan Datuk on Jaafar redirect the view, sparking curiosity about what waits beyond the corner. Screen vista, the entrance to mural art lane and the trees within the mosque compound partially hide what lies ahead, making the moment the view finally reveals itself all the more striking. For projection and recession, the 5-foot way columns along Jalan Raja Ikram and the uneven building edge of mural art lane push and pull the eye along the street, breaking the view into a series of moments rather than a single glance.
Punctuation. First is punctuation. Grey house in mark the starting point of the journey, while Masjid Panglima Kinta acts as the end point. These two landmarks function as clear visual markers, helping users understand direction and structure within the space. Second, fluctuation. There is a shift from active commercial street to a calmer mosque area. This creates variation in atmosphere from busy and lively to quiet and peaceful. Next, infinity and mystery. For infinity and mystery, the street have limited view and some corners that are not fully visible. This creates curiosity and encourages users to continue exploring the space. Incident. Incidents refer to activity along the street, such as cafe, bundle shop, and street life. Create lively moments that make the journey more engaging and active. Closure. Closure happens when shop blocks are continuous, forming enclosed street spaces. This gives users a strong sense of boundaries and spatial definition. Narrow. Narrow back alley create tight space. This results in a more intimate experience and slow down movement, making users more aware of their surroundings. Undulation. Undulation can be seen in the variation of building height and facade. This creates visual rhythm and prevents the street from feeling monotonous. Anticipation. As users approach the most, the spatial experience changes. This builds expectation and highlight the importance of destination. Recession. Recession show strong linear perspective created by shop lot. This visually pull user forward and guide movement along the street. Pedestrian way. Pedestrian walkway are available, but some are blocked and interrupted. This disrupt pedestrian flow and reduce accessibility. The floor. The ground surface varies between road and walkway. This affects comfort, safety, and how people move through the space. And last one is a hazard. Hazard include traffic conflict and narrow pedestrian paths. This condition reduces safety and negatively impact the overall user experience.
Here's the contents. And for content, for Cologne, a good town is one that has variety different buildings talking to each other but still feels like it belongs together. This is what he means by the arrangement to differ within a recognized tolerance of behavior. The categories. First, metropolis. Concentrate along Jalan Sultan Iskandar and Jalan Raja Ikram with continuous rows and shop house, banks, cafes and retail creating high pedestrian flow and constant street activity. City centers are dying because they are too densely built for cars access. The necessity for people to be in the one place in order to do business and trade is lessening due to the various means of communication. Next, town. One of the essential qualities of a town that it is a gathering together of people and utilities for the generation of civic warmth, which is Bandar MF Mart near Gerbang Malam. They are function as a daily gathering space, especially during shop fronts, kopitiams, and 5 food walkways where locals meet, eat, and interact, generating strong street life.
So now I will be presenting for the second bar of content. If we start from industry, Arcadia, arable, park, and wild nature, none of these elements can be found along the site's origin to destination path. So I will refer to what Gordon Cullen mentioned in his book. First is industry. Ever since people got really serious about planning, one of the main endeavors has been put people into sunny, healthy homes away from dirty, smelly, and noisy industry. Second is Arcadia. Leveling of incomes is breaking up the large country estates which are being exploited for housing the increased and even more comfortably placed common man. Third is arable, an alternative road which avoided the valley and passed through more elevated arable country with few habitations was agreed on. Fourth is park. Town squares, once the preserve of privilege, have since the wartime salvage of railings becomes public spaces. The last one is wild nature. The critical category is at the bottom. Wild nature of hinterland. If there is plenty of this, the old ingrained laissez form of expansion and exploitation causes little concern since the overall balance is still held. So for the conclusion, Gordon Cullen's The Concise Townscape teaches us that a city is far more than a collection of buildings and roads. It is a living, breathing, visual experience shaped by how people move through, perceive, and feel within urban spaces. The casebook study of Ipoh's New Town demonstrates Cullen's principle in a Malaysian context: shophouse, corridors, create enclosure, limestone hills from a dramatic backdrop, narrow alleys, build mystery, and the mosque serve as a powerful visual destination embodying surreal vision, place, and content. Cullen reminds us that the relationship between buildings, spaces, and people is what gives a city its soul. It is the responsibility of architects and urban designers to design with human experience at the center. That's all. Thank you.